All right, hello. This is our first kind of lesson in geometry. But as all things go, before we really dig into geometry, we may want to review some algebra stuff because we're going to continue to build on the knowledge that you guys got last year. Specifically today, we're going to work on solving equations. So I'm going to write an equation down. I'm going to say 10x equals 2 parentheses x minus 8. And so my first step is to simplify. Okay, so step one is simplify. And I see that I have parentheses. So in order to simplify, I need to get rid of my parentheses. And to do that, I need to multiply. So I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to multiply it by x. And I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to multiply it by negative 8. I'm going to take this number on the outside and multiply it into each term inside of my parentheses. I'm going to separate the left side from the right side here. And again, that's just to keep my work nice and organized. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 8, positive times a negative, is a negative. I haven't done anything on the left side yet, so I'm going to keep it all the same. Now, I see that I've got an x right here, and I have an x right here. So my thinking is I need to get my x's together. I need to figure out how do I get these x's together. And so there's actually a cool saying that we use in math about order of operations called PEMDAS. P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, M is multiplication and division. Those guys are at the same level, and addition and subtraction are at the same level. But the thing is, when we solve equations, normally we kind of start at the top and work our way down. When we solve equations, we kind of do the opposite. So I need to look at all subtraction and addition that I have. Right here, I see I have positive 2x. If I want to get all my x's on both sides, I'm going to start by subtracting 2x on the right side. And think about an equation as being like a balancing act or a scale. Anytime I do something, I add or take away on the right side, I also have to do the exact same thing on the left side. So 10x subtract 2x is 8x, and 2x minus 2x cancels out, which just leaves me with negative 16. So subtraction, check. Addition, check. Now I have to look at multiplication and division. And so this right here actually says 8 times x, 8 multiplied by x. So if I need to get x by itself, the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide the left side by 8, which means I better divide the right side by 8. 8 divided by 8 cancels out. All I'm left with is x. Negative 16 divided by 8. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. Okay? Real quick to review that. Positive times positive equals positive. Here's how Mr. Larson remembers that. Happy plus or times happy equals happy. Negative times a negative equals a positive. Now you might say, how does that work? Well, you have one sad person who is also hanging around another sad person, and because they are both sad, together they are now going to be happy. However, whenever you get something where they don't match, say you have a positive times a negative, that's going to equal a negative always. Because you got one happy person and one sad person, and they aren't going to get along. Same thing if you did negative times a positive. You have one sad person times one happy person. They still are not going to get along. Well, let's double check our answer. So we're going to take our original problem, which was 10x equals 2 parentheses x minus 8, and let's plug in our answer. Oops, see here. So 2 parentheses x minus 8. But instead of x, I'm going to plug in my answer, which was -2. So I'm going to substitute in a -2. So -2 minus or subtract 8. Now think about again, we actually have parentheses that we can fill in. Oh, Mr. Larson, you weren't paying attention. You have another x here that you can substitute in. All right, let's do that. So I'm going to write a -2 right here. So I've plugged in my -2. Every time I see an x, I'm going to plug in a -2. Left side, right side. All right, let's start with our parentheses. So we're still going to keep our 2 on the outside. -2 subtract 10. -2 take away 8 more. Think about it in money terms. If I owe someone $2 and now I owe them $8 more, I actually owe them $10. So it's almost like when we subtract a number from a negative, I like to think about it as adding the opposite. So -2 plus -8 equals -10. Okay? And then I have 2 and -2 over here. I haven't done anything yet. Now I can go to multiplication. 10 times -2 is -20. 2 times -10 is -20. Did we get the same thing? We sure did. So our answer is correct. Do you have to always check your work? No, but it's a great habit to get into because, again, if you plugged in the wrong number and say you plugged in a -5 instead of a -2, you would not get the same thing. You might get -16 equals -20. Well, we all know that's not true. So if you get an incorrect answer like that, then that means you need to go back and do the problem again. One more example. 2x plus 6 plus 3x equals 5x minus 10. All right. Again, I always like to start by separating my left side of my equation and my right side of the equation. And now I need to simplify by combining like terms. So I see, hey, I've got an x right here and an x right here on the same side of the equal sign, both on the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. 2x plus 3x is 5x. I'm not even going to touch the 6 yet. And I'm just going to rewrite everything on the right side. Now, again, our goal is to solve for x. So I see I've got an x on the right side, and I see I've got an x on the left side. So if I were to take these away, let's see here. I'm going to subtract 5x from the right, which means I'm also going to subtract 5x from the left. And this is where, if we look here, this cancels out, this cancels out. All I am left with is 6 equals -10. That is not true, okay? So again, this would not be a possible solution. These answers